Okay, I'm recording. If you
Okay.
go ahead and say your name and spell your name and then what it is that you do or
Well, I'm
currently.
retired, of
Okay.
course. Rosemary Christensen, and that's Christensen. And I am a retired college professor, I suppose you might as well say.
And founder of NIEA.
Yes, and one of the founders, yes.
Rosemary, can you tell me, this is a course that I'm putting together for the Tribal Education Department's National Assembly. And so one of the things that we're interested in interviewing people about is the national organizations, and from a national organizational perspective, what role does national organizations play with tribal education systems? And I know you're one of the founders of this national organization. What role does NIEA or did NIEA play in working with tribal education systems?
I think that varies from time to time and place to place and wherever the tribes are and wherever the organizations are. I do know I listened to Jerry Gipp yesterday, and I was really impressed with how he was talking about how an organization like NIEA and tribes needed to work together, and I really support that, because I think what an organization, especially one that is really, what would I call that, really honed, or not honed, that's not a good term, but really into the subject of education and has some ideas about how it should be handled, needs to work with tribes and how tribes look at education, or have they, and how do tribes reflect in their programs in their schools and in the schools where their children go. Are they happy with the way education is done? And if they're not, what do they expect children to learn about their tribes and the way it operates? And then how can organizations can help a lot, especially like, let's say, with the way Gipp is talking about getting NIEA to work with tribes, and then to try to work with the federal government then, so that perhaps they could have a meeting with Obama and there could be some either legislation added to or separate legislation about that. I think that would be very exciting and certainly what we need. In order, from my point of view, I really believe there are lots of things that Indian kids need to get when they're very young. And that's not going to happen unless people know how that works in the mind. So if you want your kids to be fluent in the tribal language, you must begin that as soon as possible. And that means preschool. So you then that means that so you have tribes doing that, but they might do it at a later time. Well, if you want it to be good, if you want it to work, you've got to do it at the time, the way the brain works and the way it acquires language. And those are the kinds of things that some of us learn, and those of us in varying programs or with NIEA, they've got plenty of educators who should know that kind of thing. And so that's what I think.
Excellent.